Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Bradley Ellis.
Boo.
Ben Moore.
Boo.
Brandon Jones.
Boo.
And on the switcher, Ian Hink.
Nice.
If you are listening, you are missing some Halloween decor that's surrounding us. It is the day before Halloween. My costume is podcast moderator with the sniffles. We'll be streaming later tonight. We'll all be wearing costumes. We have the Halloween spirit within us right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Feels good. Feels spooky. Let's do Recruit Me. This is where patrons of Easy Allies submit RPG characters to join our party. This one comes from James McCoy. I am a gnome thief with an extremely acute sense of hearing. I have developed dark techniques that give me the ability to eavesdrop on almost any conversation in a 100-meter radius, allowing me to overhear secret passwords, locations of hidden treasures, battle plans, etc. I cannot stop myself from eavesdropping on my fellow party members' intimate conversations and gleefully gossip about whatever I overhear with anyone who will listen. My name is Strudel Bippum. Will you have me join this party?
Get lost, Strudel. Oh, I don't want you.
I value privacy.
Yeah, get lost.
Because to me, this one's a real, a 50-50 on this one.
I'm totally in on this guy.
The passwords.
You just gotta
care.
watch what you're saying.
He's a dumb little gnome. He's gonna be annoying.
I imagine not only would he hear all your conversations, he would throw it in your face at dinner. Like, I heard you talking about this.
Yeah, but also you would get enemy intel.
Don't need it.
We need it.
Don't need it.
And
We're losing
what if
this
he
war?
tries to manipulate stuff and just lies?
Yeah, I don't trust this guy.
He's like, well, I hear it, but he's just lying.
There's no indication that he lies. Why would he lie?
don't
He knows
know.
everything.
Because he could be a bad gnome.
If I'm recruiting him into the party, I'm assuming the worst.
People change over time, Kyle.
Jones, did you like Strudel?
I mean, it clearly doesn't matter.
I want to know your opinion on Strudel.
I love Strudel. I trust Strudel. I think Strudel. I Strudel forces us all to be better people, and I'm down with that.
Ooh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't talk
We
about
gotta be
your
on our best
secrets.
behavior. Yeah.
But the thing is, when people don't talk about their secrets eat them
No
alive.
freedom, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta
Get off
divulge
my
your secrets.
back.
Party of freedom.
Yeah.
Let it ring.
But then you make up stories. Then when you're off like by yourself, you start saying weird stuff, and you
But then
throw him
you-
off. You throw him off his game. He's like, I don't know what to
Jones,
believe
don't you
now.
understand the lies would get so out of control you wouldn't even know what's going on and you'd contradict yourself all the time.
But that's Jones's ability. He's weaving behind the scenes.
I feel like if anything, Strudel could bring us closer together.
no, get lost, Strudel.
No.
All right.
Strudel is a
Not
divider.
welcome. You're not welcome, Strudel.
Ian, how did you feel about Strudel?
He seems okay. The power doesn't seem that amazing to me.
To be able to hear anything in a 100-foot radius is not amazing to you?
I mean, it's amazing, but like, what are we gonna do with it? We seem like a kind of smash and grab sort of
Yes.
group.
we don't have to be, though.
We're not asking for passwords.
Smash, grab, and freedom. That's all we need.
It's clear Strudel will not join our party. We'll see if Strudel survives at the end of this podcast. For now, it's time for corrections. Begin corrections music, please. WWE 2K19. Oh, we talked about it on the NPDs last week. Remember that the NPDs went into October 6th of September, so it was kind of confusing. It pre-released on October 5th for people who bought the Ultimate Edition and the Woo Edition. So the actual release wasn't until the 12th of October, so it's pretty good actually for it
Yeah.
to be in 12th place.
The Woo Edition?
Woo, indeed.
Like
Yeah.
Ric Flair?
No, actually, I think it was released on the 9th. It got 12th place though. Yeah, I think that's Ric Flair,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He does woo. Yeah. So there was that edition of
Yeah.
the game.
I want to know what comes
Do you
in the
remember we
Woo
used to do that
edition.
when people
Oh
would
wait,
sub?
you're talking about
Hated
WWF?
it.
I thought you were talking about NBA.
WWE. No.
Oh, you're
WWE.
talking about wrestling. Okay, I'm sorry.
WWE.
I misheard that. Then Woo, of course.
Yes. Oh, woo, of course. But yeah, also interesting in that those two versions of the game also obviously cost more, and MPDs are ranked by total dollars. You know, Super Mario Party also came out on October 5th, so its 9th place finish also, you know, not too bad.
Yeah,
not
You're
bad.
on sale for just a couple of days. Good job. Create a Soul has never been the name of that mode in any Soul Calibur.
Aha!
Didn't know that. Always thought it was Create a Soul.
I thought it was Creative Soul too.
Yep, never was.
Am I just character creator then?
Yeah.
I don't go super hard on character creators though, but that's good to know. That's good to know.
Good to know. What I imagine it was just some magazine called it Create a Soul, and then we all got attached to it. That has to be what it was. Metacritic score is already on Steam. You just have to scroll down a bit. Crackdown 3 is currently only February 2019. They backed off the 22nd, so it'll probably be later than the 22nd. Good luck to you, Crackdown. We had last week. We weren't impressed with Dragon Quest XI and where it ranked on the NPDs. A lot of people sent me this tweet from Matt Piscatella that reads, some folks asking about Dragon Quest XI. It was the biggest launch month in franchise history with dollar sales more than double the previous best, Dragon Quest IX. I still think that's not enough.
Kyle,
That's not enough. I still think that is not what it needed to be.
we'll see what happens from here.
Okay, but here's the thing. Again, we rank by total money, right? We didn't rank by dollar bills.
Yeah.
And so if Dragon Quest IX is a $30 DS game, and this game's a $60 PS4 game, it just means it sold half as many as Dragon Quest IX. Also, this game had a way bigger budget than Dragon Quest IX. It needed to sell more.
Well, maybe if you bought it, Kyle would have sold more.
It would have sold one more.
That one copy
Maybe
makes
just
all the difference.
do your part, Kyle.
I brought up how Xbox One X is outselling the regular Xbox One, but I didn't take into account that there are several SKUs, I guess we call them,
Yes.
of the Xbox One, and so I think if you bundle all of those together, it is greater than the sales of the
Yeah,
Xbox
like the S
One
and
X.
whatnot.
Yep. And different, like, it's the Forza bundle. It's the
Oh,
bundle
right,
and stuff
gotcha.
like that.
The blood bundle.
Naruto to Boruto is how how I say it. However, apparently it's to as an and in the Japanese language. However, I like the title more when it's like Naruto to Boruto, like handing off like the responsibility of being the lead character of the franchise.
Man, he's Hokage, dude. He's always in charge.
He's not the star of Boruto.
Papa Naruto. He's
I've watched
so-
a few episodes. He's not the star.
He doesn't have to be. He's still on top, baby. He's on top. And don't you get it? They're trying to be cute. Naruto, Boruto. Come on, Kyle.
Baruto.
Naruto.
End the corrections music, please. Brad, you make a strong point, dude. We're gonna lead our podcast just talking about some sales numbers I don't find particularly interesting,
Okay.
but they're good news. So let's at least talk about them.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 launched, is out, and I have some crazy numbers to throw at you. This is from their own press release. With over $725 million in worldwide retail sell-through, which means that people bought those during its first 3 days, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the second highest grossing entertainment launch of all time. What do you think is the first?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
It is,
gotta
yeah,
be.
yeah. Right next to Grand Theft Auto 5, which made a bill in the same time span.
Jeez.
So, really close, way closer to GTA 5 than I thought it would be. 75% basically of what GTA 5 accomplished.
I think in a long enough timeline, we're just going to get to a point where Rockstar has all the money and they just rule everything.
Yeah.
We have no money.
And we
they have it
willingly
all.
gave it to them.
Yeah, we did it.
That's
We
the
did.
thing, is they just kept making video games.
Yep.
They will
Let's
buy
be like,
Disney.
oh, we did this.
And so they had more bullet points. Biggest opening weekend in retail sell-through across all entertainment releases by Blu-ray releases, video games. Apparently number one there. Second biggest launch, 3 days in retail sell-through across all entertainment releases. Oh, so opening weekend was different, I guess, from biggest launch. That's weird. Biggest entertainment launch of 2018, sure. Most pre-ordered full game ever on PlayStation Network. Biggest day one full game sales ever on PlayStation Network. Biggest first 3 days full game sales ever on PlayStation Network. It did great.
Yeah.
Did great.
Surprise.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah, I have to say it did better than I thought it would. If you asked me if it will do 75% of what GTA 5 would do, I'd say no, it would do half. That would be my guess. And so actually, I think it even did better than I expected it to.
Cool.
Am I alone there?
I'd expect it to do really good. I think it would do worse than GTA, but I don't know if I'd do half.
Sure. I mean, Jones shakes his head. He's not surprised at all.
No, yeah. I would be surprised if... Or no, I'm not surprised it didn't sell as much as GTA 5. I think there's a lot of people that just aren't into cowboys that are way into GTA 5. And I think there's a lot of people playing GTA Online that are I'm fine.
Jones, I was
I'm
hoping
good.
you were going to say, well, I gave it a 10 and allowed for this to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Thank me.
I laid the groundwork
Yeah, I mean, also,
the day it launched.
we have $100 versions of games now. Do they go plus? Is there a 120 version of this game? I'd have to. Ian, can you look up
don't
the
know.
different versions?
There's like an 80.
I'm really curious about that.
80 and 100. maybe?
100, I think, is the max.
So I do think it's a little easier to get there than it was in 2013.
I wonder what game has the most additions.
It's got to be an Assassin's Creed game. No, it was. What was the? It's. You are a guy who wears a bandana, and you're a bad
Watch
guy.
Dogs?
Watch Dogs, I think, has the most versions. That would be my bet.
Hacked edition.
Yeah. We also got quarterly numbers from Nintendo and Sony. And basically, we talked about this last quarter. The narrative hasn't changed. They're both selling very well. Switch sold 22.86 million worldwide to date.
It's more than GameCube.
It is more than the GameCube ever sold in its
Crazy.
whole life.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Poor
Kyle,
GameCube.
Yeah. Hit me.
so it's a little strange. There's the Ultimate Edition, which is $100.
Okay.
And then there's the Red Dead Redemption 2 Collector's Box that looks like you can only get it at GameStop and Rockstar Warehouse, but that's also $100. But it has like a little chest and everything.
But it has fewer digital goodies.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
It's got like a whole bunch of physical stuff like cards and
Didn't
puzzles.
GTA 5
and-
come
Yeah,
with
they
a
had like
safe?
the lockbox or safe.
lockbox,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I'm thinking GTA 5 probably also had a $100 version.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just more popular now. I don't know. So Nintendo plans to sell 20 million in its fiscal year. Nintendo's fiscal year ends in March. So far this fiscal year, 5.07 million. So they're only a quarter of the way there, halfway through the year. So they're planning
They're
on
really counting on Black Friday.
they're going off on Black Friday, going off on the holiday season, going off on Pokemon and Smash Bros.
Oh, yes.
Is this still realistic? Is that still a realistic goal? That 20 mil? Jones, the expression you're giving Brad right now is like a dancer who like hasn't memorized the moves and is like, I'm gonna follow. Like, do you have any impression of like?
I don't. I know.
Make it or not?
It doesn't sound good.
Right, it doesn't sound good.
No.
Well, like, and I mean, there's still 3 months in January, February, March. Like, maybe some big releases. Maybe some will be announced by the time we get to this podcast published. But yeah, I mean, like, they could still have 3 good months in early 2019. I kind of think it's feasible
I think it's feasible too.
because they're standing by it, right, Ben?
I was at a theme park 2 weekends ago,
Ooh.
and I heard 2 guys, and they were just. I'm not saying this is a negative, but they were very bro-y dudes.
Sure.
And they were getting excited about Switch games. And he was like, I'm going to get Pikachu if you get Eevee. And just the fact that they were having this conversation and just how bro-y they were, I think 20 million's guaranteed.
Okay, Ben, I appreciate that insight.
Yeah.
The bros will take it home.
PlayStation 4 so far in its lifetime has sold 86.1 million consoles.
Right.
That's a lot of consoles.
Yeah.
Their goal for their fiscal year, 17.5 million, and they've sold 7.1 million so far. So as opposed to Nintendo hitting 15, Sony says, well, just do 10. 10 and we're out. And I think that's totally reasonable. I totally believe they will.
Yeah.
And actually, they increased that estimate from 17 last time. So over the last 3 months, they said, we're going to sell 500,000 more than we thought we were going to sell. Yeah. And those are our numbers.
No Xbox?
Xbox does not reveal console sales.
Oh.
They just don't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a
They
bummer,
just
Brad.
reveal power.
They just reveal power.
You're right.
And hey, power's something. We got to talk about a product, again, that I'm not too excited about, but it's kind of fun to talk about. It's the PlayStation Classic.
Right.
This week, Sony finally announced the other 15 games that would be included in its 20 collection game of the
5,
PlayStation Classic.
And then 15.
Yes. So you're right. When it was first announced, it had 5 announced for it, and then we got the other 15 today, or sorry, this week. And yeah, that thing comes out December 3rd, very soon. They waited a long time to lock in these 20 games, presumably because of licensing. So previously, what was announced? Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms. We're going to play a game called Trick or Treat, actually. So we're going to go through each of these games, and I need to know if that's a trick, like don't play that game, or if that's a treat. Like that game is going to hold up. When you load in your PlayStation Classic, you're going to want to play that game. Okay. Actually, let's start with the ones that have already been announced. Final Fantasy VII.
Treat.
Oh, such a treat.
That's a treat.
the biggest treat.
You know what?
Treat.
That's a treat. And also, they have save states on them today, so there will be save states on these games.
Nice.
Jumping Flash.
Treat.
Haven't played Jumping
Yeah, I haven't
Flash.
played it either, so I don't know.
That means treat overrules the others. That game is a treat, holds up.
Yeah.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Treat.
Sure.
That gives a treat.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
Ridge Racer
Yeah.
Type 4. The time I spent with Ridge Racer Type 4, I look back on very fondly.
Okay.
Good
What's
times.
also, I think, on collections like this, racing game, just try it. Come
If
on.
you were to
you know,
get a
like,
Ridge
get in there and
Racer-
do a race.
Sure.
You
On
know, it's not
PS1,
gonna be
I
like a
feel like Type
platformer
4
that
is the correct one.
takes a while to get going, or
All
you're
right.
gonna be racing right away.
Tekken 3.
Huge treat.
Treat.
Yeah.
That's a big chunky
That's like
That's a Reese's.
that'll get you through the winter treat.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got a full candy bar at Pactor's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, that's a Snickers king size.
Yes. Wild Arms. The Western
Treat.
RPG. Ooh, we got a
Yeah,
treat for
treat.
Ian.
Wild Arms is good.
I haven't finished it.
That's a
but
treat then.
That's a game. That would be the first game I'd play.
So these are all treats so
I'm not
far.
super familiar with Wild
We're
Arms,
5
so that
for
would be
5.
that'd
Yeah.
be one I would boot
Wild
up to.
Arms were good. They had cool puzzles. You had to like switch your guys around.
Nice.
All right. So we're moving into the newly announced games now.
All tricks.
Battle Arena Toshinden.
That is
I liked that game.
that game is a trick.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
it holds up, but I liked it back in the day.
I liked it back in the day, but that
Yeah.
was like maybe the first fighting game I ever played next to Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. So
In today, I don't. Yeah.
I like the
think
guy with
I'd-
claws though. He was my guy.
Yes.
He'd do like a little like blue energy ball and would like roll around.
He's
on
a
it,
little
like,
Blanca-like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Layden was on Live with YouTube Gaming, that show I did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had him play this game. Mm-hmm. And it does not hold up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
He
surprised.
played it against Jeff Keighley, and it was just rough to watch these two guys struggle through. You know, it was like
It's such a trick that I thought it was Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
Like it evolved, it like morphed into Virtua Fighter in my brain.
No, I feel like
Virtua Fighter's a better game. Virtua Fighter holds up.
I feel like
Yeah.
this game got by at the time
Yeah.
because there was still strong novelty in 3D fighters, especially on home console. But yeah, no.
Cool Borders 2.
All the Cool Borders are blending together for me, so like I can't specifically remember.
I had
Cool
fun
Borders
playing
2.
Cool Borders.
I liked Cool Borders.
It's a trick.
On a
Is it?
PlayStation console,
I
you
played
can
this
do
recently.
way better.
Oh, you played it recently?
Two?
I played
Recently?
2 recently, yeah,
Okay.
because SSX wasn't working one night, so I just
believe
played this
you.
instead.
I believe you that it's a trick.
This game blows chunks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Blows chunks.
blows chunks.
Whoa.
This was Tony Hawk. The deal fell through, so
Yeah.
Cool Borders replaced it.
Well, I mean, it sold well at the time. Destruction Derby?
I don't.
I've
Don't
played
know.
that.
This is.
Don't know.
Is that a treat?
I think it's like a one-trick pony kind of.
Oh,
I
trick.
heard the
You
word
said
trick.
it.
Trick. Okay.
Oh,
Also, with racing games in 2018, like how much is that really gonna?
It's a Destruction
Hold
Derby
your
game.
interest.
You're trying to wreck each other in an arena.
We'll get to wrecking each other with vehicles.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Grand Theft Auto.
This was like anyone I knew at the time, because I had a lot of friends in college actually who were like really into GTA. It was all on PC. I don't know anybody that was playing that game on PlayStation.
I played it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I rented this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not particularly into.
I don't like those ones as much,
Yeah,
though. I don't think it holds
really
up.
don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be fun to play. I think it's cute to add it to this collection.
Sure.
If you're gonna have a classic collection,
Yeah.
why not see where this whole thing started?
So it's a cute trick.
It's a cute trick, though.
Cute trick.
I don't know how much fun you're gonna have playing this game.
Especially, if you are into 3 or 4 or 5 in that series going back.
Red Dead is out
as
there
a,
now.
as a
There was a
novelty.
period of time where they were giving away Grand Theft Auto for free on PC.
Oh,
And
yes, that's
when-
right.
That's when I
Yeah.
played it. Yeah.
Intelligent Cube.
This is a treat.
This is a treat?
Intelligent Cube is awesome.
No!
Yes, it is. It's so good.
It's where you flip the cubes, right?
Yeah,
You're
you're a
the
little
guy.
guy.
You're a little man, and the cubes
Yes.
crush you.
Intelligent Cube is what I remember of Intelligent Cube. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jones, you played
remember.
this game?
I have not.
I guess that means it's a treat.
What I
I've
remember
played this. I've played this.
raised my
yeah.
eyebrows though.
This was cool.
It's a treat?
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
treat.
And I remember being, now that I think about Destruction Derby, I remember being pretty thrilled by it. Just the destruction of the vehicles at the
Right.
time was cool. But now I don't
mean,
know if
you
it'll
know.
hold up.
Kyle, the negative with this list is like for some of these games, it's been so long since I've played them that I'm just going off memory.
That's kind of fun
Yeah.
part of it. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun part of it. Metal Gear Solid.
The biggest treat
Dude, such a
alive.
treat.
I will not hear
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah.
That's a wrapped treat.
That's a
Yeah.
wrapped treat.
That's a bag of treats.
So just like, ooh, I accidentally dropped my wallet, and you just walk away with it. You know, it's
That's
just like-
you
Yep.
going for candy and ending up with a steak dinner.
That's
If you're a child and trick or treating, if someone offers you a steak dinner, no,
no. Back away.
Do not eat
Take
that.
it. You might play Metal Gear Solid.
Mr. Driller.
What?
Mr. Driller.
What?
Sounds like Dig Dug
What?
or something.
It looks like Dig Dug.
I didn't
Okay.
play Mr. Driller on PlayStation. I don't know what I played it on. I thought it was cool.
It's a game that I scoffed at every time I saw its box art.
Never heard of this game in my
Oh.
life.
Yeah,
It's like also, they like fall down. It's like Tetris-y,
yeah.
sort of.
Something's got to be a trick. Come on.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
It looks kind of jolly, actually.
Yeah, but of
Driller,
all the
it
things
looks
on the
really
list, man,
jolly.
it's. No.
Oh, it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drilling puzzle game.
No.
I
You
don't
just
know.
have to not get crushed, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
I think it looks cute. It's a cute
Let's
trick.
just call it a little trick.
I'll tell you why it's
Yeah,
a
it's a little
trick.
trick.
'Cause
Why?
we 20 and we get Driller. Like that's the
that's
trick.
the-
You know what I
okay.
mean?
All
Yes,
right.
John.
This
I'm not
whole
kidding, you know,
thing
I'm,
is a
I'm sure all
trick.
the 20 games are fun for 5 minutes at least.
all
but
of the PlayStation library, all 500 games, you're picking 20. It should be all killer, no filler.
I'm
Right,
playing
yes.
Mr. Driller first when I get this.
This
Okay.
thing has
All right.
this
Yeah.
thing has like 3 good games.
Oddworld Abe's Odyssey.
That's a treat. If you haven't played Oddworld in a while, it takes a while to acclimate to, but I still think it's a cool game that is worth playing.
it's unique. I think one of the big things that turns me off about games like this, especially for new people that haven't experienced it yet,
It might be rough in that sense.
is this something that I just can't go back? This this genre or this franchise has moved so far past this, and that's like with 7 and Metal Gear. Like
I think you can,
These
though.
are gems. Like you need to go back. There's a lot of exclusive stuff to there that even though they've made sequels and improved upon the gameplay in this, there's still some just dynamite stuff in those games.
I think Oddworld is so unique that it ultimately transcends a lot of that stuff.
so yeah,
I think
there's
it-
not a lot of games like it.
And actually, I think it benefits from the save state a lot.
yeah,
There's a lot of cheap deaths in the game.
absolutely.
There's a lot of
yes.
cheap
Why do
deaths,
I
yeah.
why do I associate Xbox with
'Cause
Oddworld?
Because
had it
they
made
had
Munch's
a deal.
Odyssey.
Munch's Odyssey was like an Xbox launch game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was Stranger's Wrath, but that also came
I remember
out.
playing when I was young and not liking it.
There's a fart button.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Oh, we should do a stream of all of these when they
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah. Rayman.
One, sure. Rayman 1 is a hard game. I still
Rayman 1 is the best treat.
It's really good.
Wow.
It still looks gorgeous.
And the best treat.
Not the best.
Not the-
Obviously, this is a Metal Gear Final Fantasy VII machine.
Yeah.
But Rayman is like great. I love Rayman.
I think Rayman is a treat. I'm with Ian on this.
Rayman is like one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
We're putting it in the treat bag. Resident Evil Director's Cut.
treat.
Treat.
It's the right version of
I
it, too.
forgot
That's
that was
cool.
on there.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, other than the item shuffling, what else is going on in that direct? A couple cutscenes, I think.
It's a Hubert
that they
question.
added.
That's
Didn't
total
Director's
Hubert
Cut-
No,
have
didn't
no
they
idea.
add the Crimson Heads and everything?
No,
No,
that
that
was
was
remake.
the
That was
remake,
remake, yeah.
right? The first remake.
Cool.
Good question. Well, Ian, can you?
I'll look into it.
Cool, thanks.
I think it had DualShock support.
That's what I was going to say, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Which will not
Ooh.
be at all related
Right.
to this console, which does not have DualShock controllers.
And
You
that's
must
why I
use the
didn't
D-pad for
see
all
that.
of these games. Revelations Persona.
Haven't
What is
played
this?
it.
What is that?
So I've played Persona 1.
Is that what this is? This
yes,
is Persona
it's
1?
Persona 1.
Okay.
Persona 1 is really hard to go back to.
Okay.
I think it's still cool, particularly if you're acclimated to that type of game. I imagine for most people, it's going to feel like a trick.
I bet you're right. I mean, obviously they're
proud
going
of
off
you,
the like the Persona goodwill. It's like, oh, it has a Persona game on it without really
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
acknowledging how, the quality of the
I
game
think
itself.
I think Persona 2 is easier to get into than Persona 1 is.
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Huge treat.
Yeah, this would
Come on.
This would be a bigger treat if there wasn't Mr. Driller, another gem crushing game.
Okay, buddy.
Why do we got
I don't
two
understand why
gem crushing
the
puzzle
driller
games?
has to come into this.
That's a good point, Kyle.
I hate playing this game competitively because people memorize the patterns, which is what you're supposed to do for each character, is memorize the patterns in which the pieces will fall. And so they do setups. So like you're doing a good score, and then they're just like, well, I wanted you to do that because I know what pattern they would drop in. I've had bad experiences in arcade with this game.
So it's a treat.
It is not a treat.
It's a trick?
This is a trick.
It's not a trick. Puzzle Fighter is such a good time. The cute little characters attack each other as you're playing a puzzle game. Come on, let your hatred go.
I don't like the mechanics. I simply don't like the mechanics.
This is not a hill I'm willing to die on, but I think Puzzle Fighter is a good
It's
time.
just another game where I'm like, 20 games? You pick Puzzle Fighter?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have
Man.
a problem against Puzzle Fighter, but...
But there are, 4 better fighting games still that we haven't talked about.
you guys are weird.
Siphon Filter.
Treat.
Yeah.
That's I think that's a cool
Siphon
treat.
That's like a,
Yeah.
that's
I
like
was
a
shocked by that one.
classic.
That's
Good
cool.
barbecue people.
love
Yes,
that
the
game.
second you taste somebody, you'll be like, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
And that's honestly with this kind of thing, that's all you need to do. Load that first level, shoot out some lights, taste some people.
Yeah.
You got your money's worth for that one game.
Nostalgia.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
The original Rainbow Six?
Never played it.
No, trick.
Not the right version.
Trick.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe on
I wonder-
64.
Dude,
Maybe
I
on the
played a
64
Rainbow
classic?
Six game on the
PC.
PS2,
Yeah.
and I was unplayable. It was
Yeah.
just, it looked so bad, and
Yeah.
I wonder how it would be
the
to go
sound
back
effects
to.
were bad, the textures were terrible, and
They're going by name again here. They're going by name recognition over game quality.
What a weird thing to include in 20 games.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation.
Finally, the game that Jones hinted at a little earlier. Twisted Metal.
treat.
I wish it was 2, though. I think
Yeah.
2's way better than 1.
It is.
They're going with the originals a lot here, Brad.
Yeah.
Maybe leaving room
But they're doing
for
Puzzle
the
Fighter
twos.
2.
Well, there's no such thing as Super Puzzle Fighter 1. Is there? Maybe there is. Okay.
Or is it just based off, like, because it's Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
But no, I think you're right, Brad. I think there is a Super Puzzle Fighter, but not available for PlayStation.
Well, they have Cool Borders 2 on there.
But they also have Grand Theft Auto 1. When Grand Theft Auto 2 was
That's what I'm
also
saying,
on
though,
PlayStation.
like-
It's like,
Twisted Metal 2 is just a better game.
it is. But Twisted Metal is a classic.
Yeah, but Twisted Metal 2 is even more of a classic.
You're not willing to let this be a treat just because it's not the sequel?
It's waste. It's a missed opportunity. Like, are they going to make 5 of these PlayStation things?
Brad, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying, but I still think I'm gonna have a good time with Twisted
Yeah,
Metal
you can
1.
still have a good time,
on PlayStation
but it's a
Classic.
missed opportunity.
Whereas a lot of these other games, I don't think I'll be having a
Come
good
on,
time.
man. World Tour. Twisted Metal 2 World Tour. It's so much better.
Yeah. You know what's even better is like the little one where you have RC cars. It's like a Twisted Metal for kids.
Quiet.
That was like a late PS1 game,
Right, because
wasn't
I think it's around the same time Twisted Metal Black came out on
Yeah.
PS2.
Twisted Metal Black.
I don't think I played the
Great.
one where you
Yes.
were the little toys, but yeah.
A lot of good touches in Twisted Metal Black. I love you go inside the insane asylum and you can hear people like screaming and
Yeah,
yelling
like
and
PS2,
stuff.
you're like, whoa.
So wait, Jones, you love Twisted Metal 1?
Yes.
Whoa.
First game I ever went inside of a car and like saw hands on the wheel.
Whoa,
I was like,
cool.
what though?
That's on you, man, for not going to play Daytona at an arcade.
Daytona.
I mean, I don't remember. Could you change the camera perspective in Daytona?
I'm going to say yes.
Wait, was
yes,
Daytona
you
before
can.
that?
You can change the view in Daytona.
Way
Well,
before.
from the comfort of my own home, then.
Okay, all right.
Daytona.
But I remember, and if, they're different cars. Well, that's the thing with Daytonas. It's the same.
You got a big
the
race
different
car with-
cars aren't going to look that.
Yeah, that's the
aren't going
fun
to
of
have
it, dude.
those
Yes.
details. But like the hands change, the interior of the cars change depending on.
We have an update. Ian has the Resident Evil Director's Cut changes.
Okay, these are it's weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
We like weird.
a number of alterations were made. I'm just gonna breeze through all these, and I'll probably get it a little wrong. But they added Arrange mode and Beginner mode, which are difficulty modes. Arrange mode basically moves stuff around to confuse people who knew the layout.
Like Master Quest.
Kind of, yeah. It also gave all the characters new outfits. Well,
Oh.
Chris, Jill, and Rebecca, different outfits. Beginner mode was easier. They redesigned the handgun. Blah, blah, blah. Different character was in a different place, it looks like. Auto-aiming was fixed in the English version. It was packaged with a Resident Evil 2 demo. There appear to be 2 different versions of Director's Cut. Possibly there's Director's Cut and then Director's Cut DualShock version.
Oh, yeah, this will not be that version.
Yeah, and also the FMVs were supposed to be uncensored in the North American and European releases, but they weren't. But then they fixed it with the DualShock version or something.
Oh, so it'll actually be interesting to see which ones are included in the classic.
Yeah, and then the Japanese version came with a bonus Biohazard Complete disc, and I don't really know what that was, but yeah, lots
Yeah.
of just little weird things.
Worth
like-
worth mentioning that the Japanese classic has a pretty different list
Yeah.
of games. We won't get into that list. We've already talked about this product that I don't even care about way too much. But yeah, to wrap it up, panel, I'm interested if you like this thing, if you like the PlayStation Classic, if you want one. 2 controllers,
No,
$99.
Too much money.
it's super underwhelming.
I really like these little consoles. I think they're fun. I agree with everything the rest of the panel has said. I think this list is super underwhelming. How do you not have any Crash Bandicoot on this?
No
Like
Spyro.
that is no Spyro. Like that's crazy to me. I understand that there were probably licensing issues, but I feel like I'm relatively forgiving when it comes to these lists, and I think this list is super underwhelming. No Tomb Raider?
Oh, Ben, totally, because that is a classic.
That's an
That is-
iconic
yeah.
game.
You're coming out
Yeah.
here calling this thing a PlayStation Classic?
And while I have nothing against Mr. Driller, I agree with the sentiment that a lot of these games, you're like, wait, really? Like they're not the thing that your mind would go to even second, third, or fourth.
Yes.
And that's why this thing feels so weird.
And that's, yeah, because you compare it to the Super Nintendo Classic, and it's like, wow, I can't believe they got that.
Yeah.
I can't believe they got Final
Star
Fantasy
Fox
3.
2.
Yeah, Star Fox, obviously. That's mind-blowing. And so, obviously, it's easier for Nintendo mostly to license its own games to itself, but it went out there for third parties as well. Final Fantasy VII is on this. Metal Gear Solid is on this. Those are top 2
Yeah,
must-haves,
of course.
obviously. But, yeah, Sony's own first-party stuff on PlayStation isn't strong enough to carry this. And I think that's the issue that they're experiencing. Jones, you going to buy one?
No, we're also getting into the crossover of like, I own Metal Gear Solid, I own Twisted Metal, I do have a lot of these games. It hasn't really been a long time since I played them. I played Jumping Flash 2 recently. Don't know why. Don't know
good
how.
though, right? I love that game.
And so yeah, I think we're kind of hitting that wall of like how like a PS2 classics. Like, I mean, just go get those games.
I feel like
I don't know.
this thing.
Go to a garage sale and you're set.
What was great about the NES and SNES Classic is there were a couple of games in there where it's like, oh, I never played that. I always meant to. And so that was a huge driving thing. There's almost nothing on there for me. Like, there's no Tomba, which I always meant to play all the way through, and I didn't.
That would have been
Or
really good, dude.
Medieval,
Yes.
which is
Klonoa?
getting a re-release. Klonoa!
Put Klonoa on this
Klonoa
thing.
is fantastic. I know Klonoa is fantastic. Yeah, it's upsetting.
Come on.
No Symphony of the Night is weird too. I know they just
Yeah.
came out with it again, but
Yeah.
that's a classic.
And I'm positive the team who was trying to assemble this list knows how disappointed we are. And I think it was really just like agreements and licensing and budgets.
Maybe.
This
Probably what it
reeks
all
to
came
me
down to.
that they're like, hey, you can play Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear, Tekken. The other stuff is a bonus. Like,
Yeah.
that's how they're gonna push it.
And that is how they should market it. Do y'all hear that?
Ooh.
Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of October. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. iKeyless. iKeyless.com is proud to sponsor Easy Allies. If you need a replacement car key or remote, use offer code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 30% off of your order. Imagine Bedding. Every mattress is brand new and made to order. This means their factory won't start making your mattress until your name is attached to it. They recently released a new mattress that features all natural latex. It sleeps incredibly cool with unmatched comfort. For a limited time, receive $100 off a purchase of the new Imagine mattress with coupon code ALLIES100 on their website, imaginebedding.com. Imagine Bedding. Imagine good sleep. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Hogue Law brings more than a decade of experience forming and funding companies, negotiating contracts, and everything in between. At Hogue Law, it's always business law time. Check them out at hoeglaw.com or on Twitter at Hogue Law. Beaten Down Brian. Mango. El Fanis. Be Haunted, a graphic novel currently crowdfunding on Kickstarter. Written by Joey Donaldson and illustrated by Tuna, Be Haunted tells the story of Bee, a young actress struggling to find her spot on the stage and her place in the world. Bee's life takes an unexpected and paranormal twist when she finds herself haunted by a horde of ghosts. What do these ghosts want and where did they come from? Check out BeHaunted.com or the link below to learn more and support this graphic novel. Only a few days remain. Head over to the Kickstarter now to back Be Haunted and pick some beautiful enamel pins, never before printed comics, and personalized, one-of-a-kind watercolor paintings. And our mega sponsor, Jig Arbov Productions. Hey Ben, you keep misspelling productions from the Jig Arbov Productions in the frame trap description as Prodcutions. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
I messed up. I mixed up the C and the U. It is fixed on YouTube now, though.
Nice.
So I just gotta fix it on Patreon and SoundCloud, and then we'll be all set. So I'm sorry to Jigarbov. It's my bad.
Sorry, Jigarbov.
Also, I just want to say,
Yeah.
Be Haunted will not be a sponsor next month because they are the Kickstarter.
Oh.
If you are listening to this on Halloween, this is it. Just if you're feeling spooky, if you're getting those vibes, if you're in the Halloween mood, go check it out. They have not hit their goal. Obviously, we have a lot of Kickstarters involved, and this one has got a lot of charm to it, and I'd love to see them hit their goal.
That was like a nice game show hand wave. Like, just step on over here to get some Halloween vibes.
Jones is good. He's pro.
The letter is H.
We have a lot of headlines to talk about this week. I'm skipping to this one because this is the future news segment. There's nothing to talk about today, but I just find this weirdly interesting. Maybe you won't. Let me know, panel. I think this is future news. So, this week, Ken Moss, who is Chief Technology Officer at Electronic Arts, published an article about Project Atlas, EA's cloud computing development software. Software may have been too precise of a word. Cloud computing, cloud. Basically, they're planning to do a lot of things with Project Atlas, also on user end. And always, when I hear this thing, it's like, so what? Like, what does that help people with? And on developer side, basically, this whole article is about how engine and AI and leaderboards, I think was mentioned, will all be on this one engine, basically, so you don't have to worry about making sure your multiple engines work together with each other. They obviously will, because it's Project Atlas. But here we go. I have a description of what it's called. It is an integrated engine plus services game development platform. A platform designed from the core to harness the massive power of cloud computing and artificial intelligence, and putting it into the hands of game makers in a powerful, easy-to-use, one-stop experience. So, like, to me, that means nothing. I would not have brought it up on the podcast.
From the core?
From the core. It's true, Jones. It's truly coming from the core. So you read further, we got some bullet points of like ways that it'll actually help video games. So to help game developers deliver entertaining, lifelike experiences to players, EA has been developing advanced technologies within our Frostbite game engine to render scenes that more accurately model the physical properties of light sources and interactions with different types of materials. Like Damiani would go off on ray tracing. So hey, what if we could ray trace over the cloud? What if we didn't need an i9 in our computers?
Okay.
What if?
What if? It's not the i9. What was the GPU he got recently?
The 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. Yeah. What if we didn't need one of those?
What?
Shout out.
Apply a combination of intelligently modeled physics in conjunction with advanced animation techniques to more precisely depict motion, like the collision and destruction of different kinds of objects, and also to make game characters and fluids move more naturally within complex environments. I never thought it would apply to animations and the ways that objects clip into each other. I never thought that like cloud computing would even help with any of that, but it's interesting to think that that's something they have working right now and something that they're focused on.
Sure.
Kind of cool.
It seems like streaming focused too. Like you build it to run from the cloud from the ground up.
Yes.
So it's like forward thinking of all these systems are going to be streaming everything.
Yes.
I mean, you think about how
Ian.
they handled Frostbite, and it's like, okay, everybody's going to be using Frostbite, just trying to consolidate and make something that everybody can use and everybody can benefit from, and it just makes perfect sense with a huge company like EA.
Yeah, I mean, the pushing everyone onto Frostbite obviously hurt a lot of their teams and a lot of their games.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully by the time, like, maybe that was just the stumbling blocks, the 5-year stumbling blocks of switching to Frostbite. Hopefully by the time they have this going, it'll be smoother.
I think more of what I'm saying is just from their perspective, I can see the logic behind it.
Yeah. Sure.
Where they're trying to streamline, trying to create commonalities between these things. May not work out that way.
I got 2 more bullet points. Utilize advanced 3D photogrammetry. That was the word we were trying to think of that other time.
Yeah.
That's when they just take lots of photographs and then just make that 3D model out of photographs. And like clothes. They do that a lot for like clothes of character models and things like that. Even faces of video game characters. Anyway, big data, computer vision, and artificial intelligence to procedurally synthesize incredibly natural-looking landscapes that maintain their image quality at any size and any resolution. No way. Basically, the way we play games is the resolution of your textures increases as you get closer to them. Mm-hmm. Why bother loading in HD textures from something that's so far away? And they're going to say, no, we're going to load it HD the whole way, baby. We got it on the cloud.
You know,
really, dudes?
You know what else is really funny about this to me? Just on the first page of Google, Project Atlas is also the name of a mapping engine for construction, some kind of BitTorrent blockchain thing.
Yeah, I own that.
Okay, good. And like, it's just like the name of like 8 other things.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it probably won't be called that, but it's just funny.
We'll keep that in mind. I want to get to that. Final bullet point. Deliver innovations in the fields of audio, cinematics, and in the rigorous application of advanced computer science to enable improved experiences.
Those computer science experiences.
That's such
we love so
razzle
much.
dazzle speak.
That whole sentence is razzle dazzle,
Yeah.
right? But I guess the idea of cinematics, like they just take up space on a disc. I don't know. I don't know what was being said there. Audio certainly does take up space on a disc. Yeah. So this whole article about how great Cloud Atlas is going to be. No, Project Atlas.
Cloud Atlas is a book and a bad,
And very,
bad movie.
very good, right?
The book is fun. The movie's.
Is the book good?
I heard it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I talked to people and I was like, yeah, I saw Cloud Atlas. That was terrible. And they were like, oh, the book's good though. I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Hey, book. Hey, book. I'm not gonna knock you. But this whole thing, just fluffy. It's gonna be the future. It's gonna be so great. You have to wonder what the point is. Why put this on Medium, right? Why even bring up what your project's name is? Why is this not internal? It ends saying, "Hey, come work for EA," and has a link to their careers page.
Yeah.
So this whole thing was to get developers excited. The entire reason that they announced this, that it was published at all, is for people who hear that fluff and get inspired. Like, I can't wait to enhance experiences.
You want to be the company that seems the most ahead of the curve.
Yes. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think, like Ian said, Project Atlas is not the final name at all. Project Atlas is simply something to get people's mouths watering who are looking for jobs. And also, I find it maybe telling about what next gen might be.
In what way?
Ian said that this all seems like you streaming every single game. Like, what if they were talking PS5 Scarlet right here when we're talking about EA's plans with this Atlas software, cloudware
What did they say? Platform.
Yes, this Atlas platform. Are we?
You build it cloud-based from the ground up,
Yes.
is what it said.
Right. And so to me, if you ask me, like, PS5, Xbox Scarlet, is it digital only? Is it streaming only? I say, no way. We're selling discs for another 2 generations, most likely. And so, yeah, this kind of, like, EA going hard. Like, they said they have 1,000 employees working just on this thing. Going so hard on this streaming cloud gaming platform is crazy to me.
Yeah, 1,000 employees.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a lot of people.
You know, it's something
It's more than most games.
Yeah.
something I hadn't thought about, a possibility.
Sure.
Up until now is because I've always been thinking of as this or that, right? Like it's either on a disc or it's cloud based. But what if you could buy the disc for Red Dead or I guess EA game, whatever, Battlefield, and it's functional, it looks good, it's next gen as hell on the disc right out of the bat. If you don't have internet, it looks great. If you do have good internet, this Project Atlas just pluses everything up. Like
Sure.
it meets whatever speed your internet is and just makes your games way better.
That's like the
So it
power
does
of
both.
the cloud they were talking about, Microsoft,
Right.
for a
This is
long
100%
time.
that,
Yeah,
yes.
it's like the same thing.
I think
Or it
that
sounds like it.
exact experience, though, is why it's hard to like make this a substantive thing in my mind, because Microsoft was talking about it so hard for so long and then just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
And the game that was pushing it so hard, Crackdown 3, is yet to release. And so this just seems like a nice razzle-dazzle future that I can't process at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I
The,
see it for now.
The article I just saw about Project Atlas actually mentioned the Crackdown 3 and HD destruction of environments, and it said that this could do that really well, apparently.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like we're not the audience for this article. The audience was game developers. I wonder if by the end of the life cycle of the PlayStation 5 of Xbox Scarlet, we are streaming most games.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder if we'll be there. I wonder if this will go that fast.
I wonder if really just taking an absolutely cynical approach, if the trend is going to be, let's get people invested in our game, monetize that game as hard as possible, let's create content quickly so we can keep them in this system for as long as possible. Like, I wonder if the next generation, it's going to be like, listen, not only can you spend hundreds of hours of here when you get the disc, but every week we'll have big new things. Like, just being able to iterate and get those expansions and get that DLC out faster and longer.
I think 100%. I think step one to all of this, right, is that what we're already seeing is subscription-based gaming. Like, that's step one. That's how they get you on the hook. And then you've got your Games Pass. 5 years from now, you're not even downloading anything. You're just streaming it,
The Anthem Pass.
the Anthem Pass. And then that includes new content with that pass, They
Yeah.
want ongoing customers. That's what they want.
And the thing is, like, I'm super cool with, supplemental cloud computing. Just like, hey, let me handle a few of those things. I'll handle the AI up here in the cloud. Everything else is handled within the game on your console. Like, I'm way into that. I think that's how Crackdown 3 will work. Yeah, it's cool. I think we got a glimpse. I think we got a little.
Yeah.
I think that was future news. What's up, Jones?
Well, it's also speaking to me for two things that stuck out there, and that was animation and draw distance, are
Yeah.
like the two things that I'm still seeing the point where Rockstar stopped doing their like fine tuning, we're like, or just the limits of this engine that they've built and this game that they've made. We're like, I'll look in the binoculars like miles away, and it's like I can kind of see the campsite, but I can't, I can see there's a person there, but he's just a blob, and
Yeah.
I can see there's a campfire, but I can't actually see the fire. I can only see the smoke coming out of it. And just the little touches, like when your horse is a little bit higher than you and you go to feed it, you won't, like last gen, you would just put your hand out the same place he would animate, and the horse would just reach down as long as it would, and there'd be a gap between your hand and the horse.
Yeah.
Whereas like he'll move his hand up, because he knows like I got to get to that mouth to. That's where the animation connects between me and that character. And so seeing a fluidity, even something like Yakuza, like having it not just be kind of like I love the moves when they happen in Yakuza, but the actual movement when he's moving between targets, is just kind of, is, I want to use the right word here because it's not a franchise I invest in a lot, but
Hey, Brandon.
yeah.
Don't you dare give Yakuza to EA. Don't you do that.
No. I'm just talking about just
I'm just kidding.
next gen in general. Because you said,
Yes.
is this going to be next gen? And
Yes.
like to me, it's not. Like to me, the bonus, the benefits of next gen are not going to happen immediately when you boot the game up. You're not going to tell within 5 seconds. Wow, like
I get what you're saying.
it's going to take a couple hours for you to get in there and be like, yeah, this game looks good, and then
Yeah.
something's going to happen that's going to blow your mind. Some kind of, and I think a lot of that is connectivity between characters. So like when you have characters shake hands or they lock into each other when
Yes.
they animate, whether they're fighting or just
The day that we
exchanging
have
items or something.
The day that we have a convincing video game kiss
Sure.
will be the day.
What about Last of Us Part 2? You don't like that kiss?
Nah.
You guys played Mr.
no,
Driller.
nah,
You know what
bro.
you're talking about.
Couple good
Mr.
kisses.
Driller.
I do think next gen there is going to be a race to the first video game character to take a shirt off. Apparently that animation is just like impossible.
Like, can you
Oh,
imagine?
yeah.
Yes.
They're unveiling the PlayStation 5, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, get ready for this. And
Yeah.
the first thing you see is just...
Yeah,
Sully.
and then Xbox is like, no, look at our shirt off, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like rhinestones all over it. Like we got pants off too, and so it's like,
It's funny. There's some signs in Red Dead that look bad, but I can. I mean, not look bad, but like I'm just walking right up next to them and examining them, and I can tell it would look better if they had given it a canned animation. If they'd actually just animated a fabric doing. It's like I'm in the wind. It's day, night,
I get what
windy,
you mean,
raining.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'm always gonna do this little move,
Doesn't
and I
sound
can
like it's
tell
into me.
it's like it's adapting to the weather. It's adapting to the wind and stuff, and so then you can really see the polygons kind of mesh together
and you're like, you don't have
incorrectly.
To do that. You don't
and
have to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. It's time for love and respect.
love and respect.
I loved that. Crunchy.
That was
Yeah.
super crunchy.
Distortion, Rufus.
Yeah,
Rufus. Whoa. Halloween spirit, I
Halloween.
guess.
creepy.
Yeah.
You got us, Rufus. You got us.
Before I pick up a new one, I like updates. So Brandon K. Gon back in April asked us what we thought the NPDs would look like in September. And so we ranked 4 big games. Yes, we ranked Dragon Quest XI, Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Spyro. We guessed that Spider-Man would be 1, Shadow of the Tomb Raider behind that, Dragon Quest XI behind that. We guessed Spyro would be 4th on the NPDs. And Brandon brings it up. It's like, you got off easy on that one. If it did release in this month, obviously it would have been 4th. But those 3, we got it right, baby.
Yeah,
Nice.
We got it right.
we predicted.
But yeah, it's interesting that back in April, I totally did not acknowledge the popularity of Spyro. And now I think it would be number 2. I think it would totally would have done better than Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely
Absolutely.
Dragon Quest, but yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was cool. Fun game. Thanks for reminding me we did that. I had totally forgotten. But let's talk more about Red Dead. Hi, allies. I'm one of the many people currently getting their bearings in Red Dead Redemption 2. Every mission I've encountered is essentially a tutorial, and I feel like by the end of each one, I'm having to memorize at least 3 new input commands, translate a handful of new map icons and other visualizations, while desperately trying to not forget everything I learned from the previous few missions. It's honestly overwhelming how many contextual and universal actions you can and need to do in this game, and I figure that's just got to be a better way to teach or convey this to the player. But this is how Rockstar games have been designed to relay information to the player for as long as I've been playing them. So, part of me understands why they've just stuck to the formula for streamlining purposes. Do you think franchise legacy can lead to ineffectual systems not evolving when sequels get more complicated, or is it worth it to keep things consistent in order to help everything feel familiar for longtime players? Love and respect, Joe. Boom. I think I've seen this on a lot of people's minds, even like, friends texting me, just like, hey man, like I had to look up how to get on the horse or something like that, I think was the text. And so it's like, I see this a lot. I see the complaint a lot. And basically the question is, is there a reason to do this? Is it fine?
I'm cool with it, but that's
Jones,
predictable.
Kick us off. No, tell us why you're cool
Well,
with
it's like, two things to take. One, he says there's got to be a better way, so they don't have an ididea. It's not like clearly
Jones,
there's a
don't do
solution
that.
here.
No, don't do that.
It's just like, this feels off.
Joe's just asking questions.
I know.
Okay, all right.
And the other thing, too, I actually thought it was interesting, Ian, you said something where a tooltip popped up immediately, and you were like, I missed it before it went away. And then I thought, well, the other side to that coin is when you're 6 hours into the game, it's not like, hey, here's more stuff. It's kind of unobtrusive in the corner. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of always going.
Right,
It'll like, when you pick up herbs, it'll be like, hey, that's this, by the way, if you want to know. Like, that's for your horse. That's for Deadeye. And another thing, based on what he said that I think is the right way to do it, like maybe they can get better at that stuff, is that it is mission based. That like you are on a mission and then the character will tell you to do something and you're like, that's how I do that. Cool. So I like that it's not like there's a whole separate tutorial section that you have to go, kind of like a fighting game where you're like, I have to go into this mode and then go back to the menu, back to the game, back to the menu, back to the game. Like, it'd be great if there was a way that like you can have fun with the game and I can teach it to you at the same time. It's not like separate yourself from the fun stuff to just repeat this stuff over and over again. So it's like I do like that it's integrated and that and I don't know. I think the systems in that game are interesting, and like there's even stuff I was telling Brad earlier today, like there's something in Red Dead I just learned. I was like, what? I was like going after one of the challenges.
Can you tell us, or is
it
a spoiler?
Gameplay thing.
No,
No,
it's
you
not a
can
spoiler.
call animals. So if you're aiming at an animal and you're close enough, you can whistle and they'll turn their head.
And then you take the shot?
I thought it did that
an easy
I
headshot.
during the
knew that.
beginning
It
of the-
teaches you that
Yeah,
in
it
the
teaches
first
you
hunting mission.
But again, that was just one of those tool taps that just like went right over my head. So yeah, but I like that the world, because I'm also hearing a lot of people complaining, this might be off topic, but like they're complaining that like I accidentally shot this guy. This game's terrible. And
I heard
like,
Ian complain about that earlier today.
and it's like, well, no, he pulled a gun on a theater guy, which I did that as well.
No, but I've since then I've shot the ground twice accidentally. I strangled a stagecoachman.
That's what it was. You press the strangle button.
because it has. Anytime you have button modifiers and things do different things in different situations, it's going to be confusing.
Yeah.
So to get a stagecoach, you have to hit L2 only when it's ready to. Otherwise, you'll pull your gun out. Mm-hmm. And then triangle. But if you just hit triangle, you immediately start choking the guy out, and then the whole town is after you. Likewise, if you fire your gun at all in town, you have a wanted, and then all hell breaks loose. But like you have to hit 6 buttons to feed a horse.
I want to get back to Jones, but I'm curious, did you do the full strangle? Did you kill that man?
No, I hit defuse or abandon or release or whatever after that.
Okay.
I strangled him for like a second, and then literally I had to flee the town.
Yeah, you're going to get arrested either way. I don't know why you stopped.
Because I need that stagecoach.
Okay, got you. He's never going to forgive you anyway. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so sorry, Jones. Yeah, so you hear people saying that.
I like that the game has teeth in that way. I like that it's like, yeah, you got to pay attention. Like, if you have guns in your holsters and you're walking into a town, like, just calm down. Just like be very careful when you're going to do something.
I'm kind of with Jones on this. Like, I feel like the game teaches you well enough to do stuff. There was like, I think there's like a 3-hour learning curve to this game. I feel like
that's a lot.
but this is a very long game.
But this is a mass appeal game.
I know.
This is the broadest it gets.
Part of the problem that I have, and I like the language that he used there, is that he was acclimating to it. And you
For 3
have,
hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, for 3 hours. It's a long time. But I think there's kind of this impulsiveness with criticism where, like, people are tweeting that they don't like the controls as the game is teaching them the controls. And it's just like the first reaction they get, they're so intent on just spitting it out there that like it really affects your experience. Like we're so distracted at every single moment that we're missing things that are super obvious, or things that, like, yeah, maybe they're a little bit cumbersome, but if we actually paid attention, it wouldn't be that bad.
Like, I'm not having any problems controlling this game anymore. Like, I'm not doing things I don't intend to do. Like, I accidentally shot off my gun one time, and I learned from it. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure my gun's holstered at all times, and I'm gonna be really careful when I'm in here.
Because part of me thinks that, like, we talked about it on Frame Trap, but, like, I had some problems in the beginning too, acclimating to the controls. And when you take a step back, you're like, man, 3 hours to acclimate, that might be a while. But by the time you're at the end of the 60 or 80 or however many hours it ends up being, you'll be fine. Like, you won't be thinking about that early acclimation period. You'll be thinking about the journey that you went on. And so I don't know. Sometimes I think that just initial rush, that knee-jerk reaction might be...
Sure.
Not that it's invalid. I'm not saying that people can't criticize or it couldn't be better, but sometimes I wonder if, like, maybe just with a little bit of patience and reflection, those opinions would change a little bit.
And I don't want to be critical of the comment at all. I apologize if I, you know,
Oh, you
I'm
totally
just kinda-
did. You're like, what's your idea, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, you nailed it. I think a lot of people go through life looking for tweets. They're playing a game, like, what do I tweet? What do I tweet? Where's my tweet?
Where's my hot tweet?
Watching TV, what's good? What do I tweet? What do I tweet? That's such a thing today. That absolutely. I just saw a movie. What's my tweet about it? And so, yeah, I think you're totally right that sometimes people aren't enjoying the thing for what it is.
But I think it also pops up an interesting conversation that I've been thinking about lately that we don't have to get into, but, like, because a lot of people were critical of Assassin's Creed Odyssey because they were like 10, 15 hours in, it really gets good. And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's unfair to compare it to a book you might read or a TV show you might get invested in, depending on how many seasons are involved. Because, like, now we're discovering these really unique experiences you can have with games. And, like, to me, it's like there just wasn't a system that I learned in Red Dead that was like, that's superfluous. I don't need that. Or if it was, it's like, okay, I'm just not going to use that much. But I just think it's such a unique art form, and I think it's totally fine to have a 60, 80-hour game that, like, yeah, it's not until you get out of the snow and really get about 3 or 4 hours in there, you're like, here we go, I got it.
Cool.
Because then it's, you know, you take that 4 hours and you're going to have that same experience, you know, a dozen times.
So I don't think there's a right way or wrong way here. I want to, just for the sake of comparison, talk about Spider-Man's web swinging, which I would say is highly casual. Just hold R2 and go.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting to bring it into this conversation where there's, you know, no casual controls. And I do think Spider-Man's web swinging is there so everybody's comfy from the get-go.
Yeah.
Is Red Dead simply in a position where it can afford to be obtuse? Is Red Dead in a position where it knows people will buy it, it knows it's good enough for people to stick with it, that as opposed to other games, it can have its own set of controls that are unique to it that take that 3-hour learning curve?
I don't think it's sold itself any other way. I think, like, every time Rockstar's released a trailer or released a new update or something, they always say, like, this is an incredibly deep, incredibly complex simulation of this period of time. And so, yeah, it's not just kind of like, yeah, run around and it's very arcadey and you're just shooting people all the time. And I think where in Spider-Man, I can definitely feel a difference, especially after I beat that game. I would just boot it up for 20 minutes and just, you know, web around. Where, like, I'm not going to boot up Red Dead and just kind
walk
of, like,
around? Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have an objective every time. And so I just think it's different, different gameplay experience.
That said, though, like, me trying to go back in and play the heist, definitely it took me a hot minute to remember, like, how do I deal with a guy holding a pipe? Like, how do I fight this guy? Like,
Pipe guys are so bad.
I gotta hold
Yeah.
square, right? Like,
Yeah.
so many confusing things. I dread, like, taking a break from Red Dead and coming back to it later.
Yeah.
And just be like, what?
Finish it in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to wrap that up, I do think there's a thing where this happens everywhere in life. This happens with sports teams and movies and TV channels where you're successful for one thing, so you assume everything you do is the right way to do it.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And I do think, you know, Rockstar might have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
where
yeah.
they're so successful, they're obscenely successful.
Yeah.
You know, just 3 times above with the next most successful, where it's just, obviously we're doing it right. Why would we change a thing? I get that. I get why they're there. Obviously, you should always reconsider everything when you're starting a new project, is my impression of it.
I agree with that.
I think there's also about the pivotal elements, those things that, like, getting on and off the horse, you know, when, you know, knowing your gun is in your hand, so when you hold down the left trigger, the gun's going up, you know, like, Whereas
I take umbrage with that though, because I've definitely just hit R2 and he pulls it out of the holster and shoots.
it's L2's
Me.
targeting people.
No, I know, but R2. Like
Yeah,
in-
that's
in-
your gun button. Yeah.
When my gun was in my holster, I pushed R2 and he
Correct.
shot the ground.
What were you pressing R2 for though?
I didn't hold it. I just pushed it
Again,
accidentally.
I think we'll need a duel
In
to
town.
settle this.
I just accidentally pulled the trigger, Sheriff.
No, but you keep saying
Jones does
No.
not feel bad for you.
no, but Jones keeps saying like pay attention if your gun's in your hand, and I'm saying the gun was in the holster.
Right.
If you bump R2, you
R2
shoot
is a
the ground.
dangerous button in that game. Correct.
Right, right.
Don't bump your
I will
trigger.
not back down on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But just
that's funny.
I think the system again that's kind of hand holding you through all these processes to me became more charming later on in the game because, like I said, it was teaching me about herbology and it was just introducing these other elements that I was like, oh, I don't really need to do that, but that's cool that that's there.
Cool.
I do think it's crazy that the pull your gun button is the same as the open the talking to this coachman button though. Like that's nuts.
What's a target? Yeah.
It's
That's
you're
crazy.
craning your neck. It's the crane your neck button.
But that's too nuts. 'Cause, like if you're 12 feet away from the guy, you pull your gun. If you're 10 feet away, you talk to him. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. I've like never ran an issue with that. Like that was never a problem for me.
Humble brag.
I think they
It's,
just
I
need
mean,
to.
I'm just
I mean,
kidding,
like I
Brian.
understand where he's coming from, but it's just
if you
it's just
L2 and you're
interesting.
if you L2 and you target if you hold L2 and you point a gun at someone, that gun was out. That gun was in your hand. So just
I just think
sure
they
you
need to
got it.
like make it more lenient on how
Sure.
people freak out if you like pull your gun, and it's
Yeah.
like I didn't mean to pull my gun. Like,
I even
ah.
had a guy react when I was just in Valentine and was just like swapping the guns on my horse.
Right.
And I just like pulled and the guy was like leaning up against a pole and was like, "Whoa, buddy." I'm like, "I'm just
Yeah.
checking my inventory, man."
Do you
Calm
think
down."
that'll be patched? Do you like,
One of the
that's my question.
outlaws did that. I pulled a gun off my thing, and one of my other I
your
was
friends?
on a hunting mission with Hosea, and he was like, "Ho there," and I'm like, "We're hunting. I'm getting my gun off my horse."
True.
But
What?
do you think they'll patch things like that? I almost think the game already sold so well. Like, no, why are we gonna patch that?
No, they're focused on online now.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
all online from here out. I don't do this normally. You know, we had that was a short, well, not a short level of respect. I love that we went so in depth on Red Dead Redemption 2. Next week we will play Pokemon a Real Animal.
Yes.
Oh man.
You know, yeah. Sorry,
No,
that
we're not going to be there.
I know,
You
I'm
get to
sorry
play
to
it.
Brad and
Must be
Ben,
nice.
Sure, we're doing terrible.
It is now time for bets. Next week's bet is about The Quiet Man, which comes out November 1st. How long will the end credits be? November 1st is Thursday.
I know.
This game comes out Thursday.
I know. The end of the month just slapped me in the face. I was
Yeah.
just checking the calendar to look
Man.
at this week and was like, "Whoa, oh, there
Yeah.
it is. Halloween, we're done."
Yeah.
Damn.
Quiet.
It happened.
With a quiet release.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Nice, Brad.
6 minutes, 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. Ben, how long will those credits be?
5 minutes 30 seconds.
Brad?
1 minute.
Yes. Brad takes it. Brad
It's
takes
five,
it.
five people made this game.
Yeah.
My bet is 5 minutes, 12 seconds.
Oh, Kyle.
Ian, your bet?
3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, pretty close. Let me lock those in.
I hope there's like some cutscenes in there and stuff.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
But we're talking. We're
the
talking,
credits?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
does that count? If there's like a mid credits,
yes, that would count. We go from
If it's in-
we go
if-
first name to last name. Basically.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause, we're going by text.
Yes. If you beat that game, please tweet me the actual duration of it because I don't know if I'll beat it before the podcast
We'll have
next
to
week.
ask Huber.
Yeah. Last week's bet, Red Dead Redemption 2, released Friday, October 26th, and we did not make a bet about that because Jones was on the panel. We couldn't talk about Jones. We could not talk about you having that game.
You know.
We couldn't even talk about us having a review for that game in the future.
Careful, dude.
We can talk about it now.
Shh, don't make him mad.
Okay. All right.
they
Okay.
bugged the garage.
Yeah.
They're listening.
My Hero One's Justice is another game that came out on Friday. What I did is I typed those 4 words into YouTube, scrolled down to the 4th video, and I wanted to know how long it would take for someone to get hit in that video.
Huh.
Jones, you bet 8 seconds. Damiani bet 13. Huber bet 2 seconds. I bet 2 seconds. Ian, you bet it would be 1 second until someone got hit. So, I typed in those words, scrolled down to the 4th video. It was called, Is It Worth It? My Hero One's Justice Review Before You Buy. And the user is called Hermsor. Hermsor. Hey, great personality, great energy. Started this review with 2 minutes and 19 seconds of talking into the camera. Hermsor, why? Why? Just have some gameplay running while you're shouting at us, Hermsor.
But eventually did get to gameplay.
And after 2 minutes and 19 seconds, that's how long it took for someone to get hit in that review.
Damn it.
For the record,
That was loud, sorry.
I was so salty about this. I looked at the other 3 videos in front of it. Damiani would have won all of those with his 13-second bet. It was not happening, and it wasn't like he said ESRB. They were all like personal channels making videos.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of hey guys, a lot of talking, a lot of preamble. Damiani won the bet, and this one hurts. For some reason, this one hurts. I think we may have hit the magic number. Let us know. Did we hit the magic number with this one?
I think we hit the magic number a couple weeks ago.
Because we're not going to have a podcast every week in December.
No.
I think that this may have been the thing that clinched it. We'll obviously do our bet next week, but then the week after that we will see the return of Ore Wars. But that brings our final scores, or semi-final scores. Red Grouse 14. Gorgeous Gorillas 23. Okay, all right. Droopy Eagles 14.
It was a nice touch, Brad.
Switcher Snake 6. Let me tell you a little about patreon.com/Easy Allies. That is how the Easy Allies exist. Patreon is a monthly crowdfunding website in which people fund us to make the videos we make the live streams we make, reviews, previews, lots of crazy things. Paper puppet shows even. So yeah, check out that website if you're interested in supporting the Easy Allies. If you give the Easy Allies $5 or more a month, you get this very podcast 2 days early. And you can, video and audio. You get the 2 and also the responsibility to submit to Love and Respect and Recruit Me. It is a responsibility. We require everyone $5 and up to submit to one of those 2 segments. If you're not, we drop you. Let's talk about. Sorry, that's a joke.
Something gives me warm and fuzzy feelings.
Yes.
If you tune in, if you have ever missed them, at the end of the month we do our podcast producer credits.
Oh,
and
sure.
You can hear them at the end of this podcast. And I have not only getting used to all of these names, but specifically the order of the names. So like I'm used to some names always being next to each other. I take them literally, if you're curious, just the list of that Patreon gives me from all of the different tiers.
You don't ignore anyone on purpose. You just take that list.
Yeah. If I skip you, I'm just a dummy. But every now and then I'll just be going through, whoa, who's this crazy person? And that's a 25 minimum. So that's somebody brand new that either ups their pledge or is brand new to patreon.com/Easy Allies. Yeah. And that puts a smile on my face every time I see a brand new name for the month. So thank you for everyone that's new at the 25 or above tier on Patreon.
Love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I read your name.
It is time to see if Strudel survived. Remember, Strudel is our enemy. We did not allow Strudel into the party.
Strudel heard this entire podcast.
Yes. And even like each of my sniffles. Strudel was a gnome thief with super hearing, could hear anything within 100 meters, but is a total gossip and could not help but talk about even the people in his own party. He's dead.
Good.
Excellent.
I was willing to be friends, but
It was not even close.
once we booted him,
Strudel got slaughtered out there.
Hearing didn't help you there.
Yeah. I gotta imagine it was like some silent specter just
yeah.
swept him up.
Didn't hear him coming.
Oof. Who's in the Damiani seat? It is Ben. Ben.
Yeah.
You have the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get the final word and anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Okay, on Twitter, I am at BenMoore035. Final word. Oh, what I would like to promote? I'd like to promote Box Peak. Kyle.
What is that?
Box Peak. Well, you would do a better promotion than I, so please fill in anything I get wrong. But it is something you've been working on very hard. It is your own shonen anime made out of paper craft that you have put your heart and soul into, and it's an awesome thing to see on display. So please give that a chance, even if you're like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. Take a risk on it. Take a risk on Box Peak. Take a risk on love. It'll be okay. Final word. I feel like Mr. Driller was unfairly demonized during this show. I don't think it is as evil as it was portrayed. Give Mr. Driller a chance. And Sophie is our supreme ruler.
do you mean you let him out? Turned out to be a koala.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Jigar Bov Productions, Be Haunted, Beaten Down Brian, L. Thanis, Hogue Law, I. Keyless, Imagine Betting, Mango, Sweet Justice, Alex AI, Robert Gibson, Blue, Jojo Dentko, Greg Kettering, Caleb Crawford, Rob Middledorp, Dale Sun, Nick, Walker Hope, Sam G, Cameron Hendry, Will Schmuck, Mark Dalga, Gabriel Heilborn, Bradley Spees, Professor Metal Gear, Paolo Costabel, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Michael Bisegli, Ken Layer, Dan Sebring, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Cody Harden, Corey Jackson, Richard Smuts, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Anti-Ataraxia, Ali Cat, Demos Clay, Chum Nguyen, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Neil Bruce, Jay Shee, Matthew Pauling, Gino Elite, Silent Consonant, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, 44 Stars, G. Levin, G. Ken, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Colt Doss, Amanda, Paul Nolson, Marcel Giroux 17 Froelich, Samsa Stormbaum, XWF Outlaw, Phoenix Doss, Niz Klochgard, Andrew Kidd, Peter Davis, Emil Val, Rack, Brad Lohman, Simon Anderson, Noah Weinstein, Malfalax, Sebastian Olson, Tim Strothman, DRD 7 of 14, Brad Grenz, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Patrick Chong, Sam Handrick, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Stephen Last, Ahmad Naki, Daryl Reeves, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Miguel Rivas, Calvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, David Wynn, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Maria Smith, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Robert Crouch, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Wavering Radiant, Trenton Robison, Scott Adams, V8 Dave, Leroy Anderson, Jenny Markula, Ritz 1906, Eric Gustafson, Fabian Schuster, Toasty Soul, Christian Hundorf, Alex Lavanier, Tony Knox, Tars Fomars, I Sun Chor, Forrest, Caleb Ledoux, Mike Hook 1, George D. Snyder, Mauricio Fuentes, Quick Scares, Ian Lodarzik, Brian Foster, The Classiest Hobo, Vakaiser, Bryce Hornsby, Burwa Hama Mahmud, Zintrax, Corey Landega, Modren, Eric Havra, Paul Bishop, Sean Smith, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jalen Scott, Adam Damon, Nick Waterman, Brandon White, Matt McCarthy, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, Yasser Al-Husseini, Sean M. Gabaldon, Reed Johnson, Joe Rutsky, Nergal 131, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Robert Olson, Adam Scherenbrock, Not Jack, Kurzistav Rogowski, Volker Bach, Jack McEnroy, James Vest, Allison Burt, Ryan Feller, Jesse Ray, Bjorn R. Haroldsvik, Blake Bonsack, Sean De Almeida, Jeremy Ferris, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Daniel Mogo Sanchez, Kiraz, Jason Ward, Robert Aresti, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Settling Geek, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, General Piet, Leon Keys, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, Adam Lindsay, Shauna Metz, Todd Paxton, Faraz Rizvi, Andreas Bard, Jared Wheeler, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Mumble Mumbleton, Masuki 211, Alexander Zirianov, Jesse Fish, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Breveglieri, Sarah Wampler, Travis Ing, Ahmed Al-Rashed, Butt Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Stefano Lovato, Jonathan and Amy Alconis, Stuart Siddall, Michael Schreiber, G-Sith, Mac Reed, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, Simonize 23, Matt Gunther, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Allison Douglas, Bites and Brews, 1D10 The Show, Kyle Quintero, Sebastian Trier, Aurelien Grenier, Bonnie and Jason Connor, Wenbo Sean, Jeffrey Daniel Lasley, Stephen Walther, Rock Gordon, Matt, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, Ryan Cohen, Terrence Ireland, Ibrahim Sozer, Momo Rashid, Paul Sway, Rickard Enbaum, Michael Clendenan, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, S Snake 24, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsay Wells, Hayden Hargraves, Calgareth, Eddie Reisner, Mikkel Hervel Nemo, Chase Caldwell, Palkin Stirs and Stirs, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Barry, Mike Mizek Novak, Adam Henry, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Sean Rowe, Ronnie Halperin, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, John Burns, Durgesh Patel, Michael Lay, Mike Calvi, Sarah, Me M, Gary Fair, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Toro DK, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jameson Anderson, Vincent Foliat, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Ryan Ponder, Delisi, Mithers Strongbeard, Daniel Data, Nycrypt, Mons Anderson, Elvin Skogheim, Jai Aldiar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Shahir Khan, Zrael, Matt Ferguson, Michael Tennick, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Krister Lundmark, Tim Mann, Chris the Pianist, Damnable Nook, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, Battleox, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colomb, Mick Malloy, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Pham, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Arthur Henrique Chinaglia, Cody Wesley, Zach Kaczynski, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarski, Rahiv Maharaj, Pete Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Christopher Santos, Andreas Koter, Extravaganza, Christian Larson, Gali Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Jason Shields, Rickster EXE, Sud Al-Masafer, Monica, Jonas Sekula, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Pete Shoemaker, Repus Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Max Harms, Straw Hat Ninja, Cyberboa, Christoph Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, GW Fox, Jan Hildebrandt, Mazrim Tame, Chris Bennett, Liam Ahern, Crediar, Jesse Vitelli, Self-Confessed Cynic, A Pack of Puppies, V. Cura Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Andrea, Sean Cornett, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Tyler Wallace, Blastermaster, Gustav Strombaum, Christoph Packlinger, Thomas Mullins, Kane Morton, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Anthony Reidel, Cal, Joel Olson, Justin Cheng, Quinn Riley, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Matt Karwoski, Patrick, Trevor Thomas, Robert D. Riemenschneider, Self-Imposed Illegitimate Child, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Clinton Hayes, Seyun Kim, Struggler, Randall Crittenden, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Sal Rahman, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Leaf Johnson, Ian Anderson, Zahed Hosseini Karami, DanPan16, C.S. Lewis, Orugachino, Skender Yashari, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Haagensen Peterson, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Matthew Robles, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Philip Higdon, James Brown, Neuromod, Russell Bateman, BM5, Elliot Moscow, Richard Gunther, Daniel Fuchs, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Tolls JTJ, Christopher A. Butler, Ian Bradburn, John Prey, Sean Essen, Sebastian K. Urban, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Culinary Stud.